Before we go on, I need to give you a serious warning. This video isn't for everyone. If you still believe that repeating phrases can change your life, if you cling to mantras and sweet self-help promises, it may be better to stop here. Because what's about to be revealed can dismantle everything you've believed up to now. You're about to discover the simplest, and at the same time most powerful, ritual to manifest anything you desire. But pay attention. It doesn't involve words. It doesn't require affirmations or requests. What truly creates your reality is the silent vibration you sustain when no one is watching. This knowledge was hidden for centuries because it destroys entire industries built on prayers and repetition. And if you've made it this far, it's because something inside you already knows the time of words is over. It's time to inhabit. Write in the comments, "I manifest by being," and celebrate the beginning of your new state. Jacobo Grinberg was more than a scientist. He was an explorer of consciousness, an investigator of the invisible reality that governs everything we experience. For decades, Grinberg devoted his life to studying the mysteries of the human mind, diving into both neuroscience and ancestral spiritual traditions. He understood what few dared to assert. Reality isn't a fixed external stage, but a continuous projection of our inner state. In his research on the neuronal field and the effects of perception on the creation of experience, Grinberg revealed that the universe does not respond to words, but to states of being. This is the key that changes everything. He showed that when a human being enters vibrational coherence with what they desire, reality inevitably adjusts to reflect that state. This goes beyond affirmations or mystical practices. It's neuroscience applied to living spirituality. Grinberg was not alone. Decades earlier, Neville Goddard had already said, "Imagination is not fantasy, it is God acting in secret." Both pointed to the same truth: what you sustain in silence has more power than any spoken word. And it's based on this wisdom that you will now learn the simplest and forbidden ritual to manifest everything you want. For centuries, we were taught to believe that words have absolute power, that asserting with conviction was enough to shape reality, that repeating a mantra would suffice for the universe to bend to our wishes. But that belief, although comforting, is an illusion sold by religions, gurus, and self-help markets that profit from our desperation for control. The truth is harsh, uncomfortable, but liberating. The universe does not respond to the sound of your mouth. It responds to the silent state you sustain. Think about this carefully. How many times did you repeat phrases like, "I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am loved," only to return to the same life, the same circumstances, the same emptiness? It wasn't for lack of faith, nor a technical error. It was because behind those words there was a vibration of lack, of fear, of doubt. And the universe, like a vibrational mirror, does not reflect what you say. It reflects what you are. Imagine someone saying, "I am abundant," with slumped shoulders, a withdrawn chest, shallow breathing, and a stomach knotted with worry over debts. The body does not lie. Vibration cannot be faked. While the mind repeats, the body vibrates scarcity, and that is what reality prints. The universe is not a clerk stamping affirmations. It is an impersonal, relentless mirror that gives back exactly what you embody. That's why so many people get frustrated with manifestation. It's not because they are weak. It's because they were deceived. They were taught to believe that language is the creator, when in truth, language is only a reflection of state. When you speak about something you don't yet live, the word becomes noise, an ineffective disguise. And the more you repeat, trying to convince the universe, the more you confirm that you still are not. Jacobo Grinberg understood this in a deep way. He didn't seek answers in pretty speeches, but in the vibrational structure of consciousness. His investigations pointed to the same place mystics have always known. Creation doesn't happen through speech, but through energetic coherence. The neuronal field described by Grinberg doesn't react to sound, but to the vibrational pattern that emanates from a mind in tune with the body. And that frequency cannot be manipulated with phrases. It is born from embodied identity. What does this mean in practice? That if you want to manifest something, you shouldn't start by talking about it. You should change your state of being. Before declaring, "I am healthy," ask yourself, does my breathing reflect health? Does my posture convey strength? Is my routine compatible with vitality? Before affirming, "I have unlimited money," ask yourself, how does my body react when I see a bill? What is my behavior when I pay for something? The truth of your state will always be stronger than any memorized sentence. From now on, the question is no longer, what should I say? But what am I vibrating in silence when no one sees me? This is the true language of creation. And this is the key that separates those who dream from those who live. Most people believe that manifesting is about wanting, and the more desires you have, the more powerful the vibration emitted would be. But that is a profound mistake. The universe doesn't respond to the number of requests, but to the clarity of the frequency. And here is one of the first secrets of the forbidden ritual. Manifesting requires absolute focus. Choose a single desire and vibrate in total coherence toward it. We live in an era of constant stimuli, of multiple wants, of dreams that change every week. Today, a person says they want peace. Tomorrow, they chase adrenaline. In one moment, they want stability. In the next, total freedom. What's the result? A fragmented, contradictory, noisy vibration, and the universe doesn't respond to noise. It responds to exact tuning, like a radio station that only plays the full sound when the dial is perfectly aligned. Imagine your energy as a beam of light. When dispersed, it's weak. But when concentrated, it becomes a laser capable of cutting steel. The same happens with your vibrational field. When you truly choose, when you define with conviction what you desire to manifest, your body, your mind, and your emotion enter into sync. And this magnetic coherence is what attracts. But pay attention. Choosing is not simply deciding with the mind. Choosing is a vibrational act, an inner commitment that removes distractions and creates a clear field of intention. Most people do not choose. They want superficially. They say, "I want abundance," but deep down they also want safety, approval, control, escape, relief. The vibration then splits, and where there is division, there is no power. Jacobo Grinberg spoke about the importance of perceptual structure in the process of creating reality. He asserted that reality organizes itself according to the mind's filters, and a divided, unstable, or indecisive filter produces an equally chaotic reality. The neuronal field does not respond to loose imagination. It responds to the conscious organization of intention. That's why the first real step of the ritual is to choose with energetic integrity. Choosing with clarity also means renouncing the excess of stimuli, renouncing the urgency of wanting everything at once, renouncing the idea that you must guarantee every scenario before assuming a state. True choice doesn't require proof or guarantees. It is made in silence and sustained only by the inner certainty that it is already yours. When you choose a desire with vibrational clarity, everything changes. Your words align, your body reorganizes, your attention sharpens, your behavior adapts, and the universe begins to adjust the invisible threads of reality to deliver what you already carry as inner certainty. Choice is the portal. It is the frequency that links you to destiny. And the clearer, more precise, and more integral that choice is, the more inevitable its manifestation becomes. Because the universe doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you are ready to sustain. The moment you choose with clarity what you wish to manifest, something precious is born within you, a vibrational seed. And just as no seed should be pulled from the earth before its time, your desire should not be exposed prematurely. Here comes a principle most people ignore, but which is essential to true creative power: the vow of silence. We live in a culture that encourages us to talk too much, to share every goal, every plan, every intention with the world. We post, comment, explain, announce, and without realizing it, we lose power. Because every time we talk about a desire, we release energy, and too much energy released before its time dissipates. There is a sacred strength in silence. It is not absence. It is protection. It is the womb where the invisible grows. Silence concentrates, intensifies, strengthens. When you keep to yourself what you are cultivating internally, you create a vibrational field that matures without interference, without external judgment, without contamination from other people's energies. How many times have you shared a plan with someone and left the conversation feeling drained, discouraged, doubting yourself? That wasn't a coincidence. It was vibrational impact. Because by splitting your desire with someone who doesn't vibrate at the same frequency, you weaken the seed. The other person doesn't need to attack you verbally. It's enough that they don't believe. It's enough that they doubt in silence. That already interferes with the field. Grinberg knew this. In his studies with shamans and mystical traditions, he noticed that great rituals of power always happened in secret, far from the crowd, without an audience, because the sacred is not put on display. The sacred is safeguarded until it is strong enough to reveal itself on its own, like fruit that ripens at the right time. Neville Goddard also warned, "The desire exposed too much loses strength. The desire lived in silence becomes inevitable." The vow of silence is not superstition, it is a vibrational strategy, a conscious decision to protect the manifestation field until it is stable. It is knowing that not everything needs to be said, that not every step needs to be shown. It is accepting that the universe works better when you don't interfere with anxiety, justifications, or the search for approval. This silence also brings an invisible gift. It intensifies the desire within you. Every time you think about what you want and you don't speak, the vibration accumulates. It grows, it spins, it strengthens. It's like a perfume you keep sealed. The fragrance doesn't escape, but inside the bottle it becomes more intense, more striking, more real. That's why you should make silence a ritual. An inner pact with your own creation, not to hide out of fear, but to honor out of wisdom. What is true, when mature, doesn't need to be announced. It simply blooms, and nobody can ignore it. You can want something with all your heart. You can even think about it every day, but if your body isn't in coherence with that desire, nothing happens. And this is one of the most ignored truths about manifestation. The body is the channel through which vibration is transmitted. It does not lie, it does not disguise, and it does not obey words. It emanates what you truly are. This is the point where many stumble. They choose what they want. They protect it in silence, but they don't embody what they desire. They keep walking like someone who doubts, breathing like someone who fears, looking around like someone waiting for permission. And the universe, which is deaf to words and extremely sensitive to state, only responds to what is being transmitted in an integral way. To embody the vibration is to assume in the body the identity of the desire already fulfilled. It is not to think, "I am prosperous," while your posture still carries the weight of scarcity. It is not to repeat, "I am loved," while your gestures reveal insecurity and fear of rejection. It is to change the way you walk, breathe, occupy space. It is to speak little, but carry the energy of someone who has already won. Imagine someone who desires abundance. Embodying that vibration is not pretending to have money. It is moving with dignity. It is eating with presence. It is acting like someone who doesn't live counting pennies, even if you don't yet have everything you want in your bank statement. because a body at peace is the first sign of a mind in trust. Or think of someone who desires love. Embodying that vibration is to stop seeking validation. It is to be comfortable in your own presence. It is to look into eyes without fear, to walk lightly, to smile without effort. It is to be the vibration of love, even before any relationship manifests. Jacobo Grinberg spoke of consciousness as a field that organizes reality. But this field is not only mental, it is neurological, emotional, and physical. The mind emits, but the body amplifies. And when the two are in tune, the vibrational field becomes coherent, and reality begins to respond immediately. Neville Goddard called this assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not as an external performance, but as an internal state so natural it becomes identity. He said that when you truly embody what you want, the universe has no option but to obey, because the vibration ceases to be a request and becomes a silent decree. Embodying the vibration is the crossing point between wanting and receiving. It's the moment when you stop looking to the future, waiting for something to happen, and start acting as if it were already real. And when that happens, reality begins to adjust effortlessly. Not by magic, but because the frequency changed, and frequency always attracts what corresponds to it. Most people who try to manifest something live in an intermittent cycle. One day they feel confident, the next they return to doubt. In one moment they vibrate abundance, soon after they fall back into lack. They feel loved for an instant, and in the next, sink into loneliness. This pattern is what prevents true manifestation. And here comes the most challenging and transformative step of the ritual: permanent residency. Vibrational residency means inhabiting the desired state as your definitive identity, without leaving it, without visiting it only during meditations or visualizations. It is no longer an exercise, a practice, or an attempt. It's your being's new address, the new frequency you chose and refuse to abandon, regardless of what your physical eyes still show. This is where creators separate from repeaters. Anyone can imagine something for a few minutes. Many can even embody that vibration for a while. But few have the inner firmness to remain in the state, even when everything around still looks the same. And that is the most powerful secret of manifestation. The universe does not respond to what you visit. It responds to what you inhabit. Remaining is difficult because it demands real faith, not religious, emotional, or unstable faith, but vibrational, silent faith, which knows the invisible is already at work. It's looking at an empty bank account and still vibrating prosperity. It's living through moments of pain and still maintaining the frequency of healing. It's being ignored by someone and continuing to sustain the certainty that you are loved. Not out of delusion, but out of the awareness that the senses always show the past, and your current vibration is what shapes the future. Jacobo Grinberg described reality as a field of possibilities that organizes itself according to perceptual structure. Permanent residency is exactly that. You organize your inner structure to perceive the world only from the new identity you've chosen. You no longer react like your older version. You refuse to leave the new state, even if everything around you is still lagging behind what you have already become. Neville Goddard said that desire ceases to be desire when it becomes so natural it no longer needs to be remembered. He called this persisting in the state until it becomes everyday. And that is the ritual's final point. True manifestation does not happen when you convince the universe. It happens when you no longer need to convince even yourself, because you already are. Vibrational residency is not about control. It's about stability. It is being unshakable. It is holding the vibrational field steady until the world, inevitably, has to reflect it. Because when vibration becomes identity, there is no more effort, only natural attraction. If you've come this far, you are no longer a common spectator. You're an active part of a new paradigm. Now you know the universe never responded to the words you spoke, but to the state you silently carried. And from today on, you hold in your hands the simplest and most powerful ritual to transform your reality. Choose, be silent, embody, and reside. None of this is theory. It is living practice. And your life only changes when you decide to live as someone who already has. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't look for signs anymore. You are the sign. Silence will be your language. Vibration will be your prayer. And your identity will be the decree that shapes the world around you. So here's the challenge. Over the next 7 days, choose a single state and don't leave it. Align your body, your gaze, and your breathing to this new frequency and watch what happens. If this message touched your soul, subscribe to the channel and share this video with someone who needs to awaken. And write in the comments, as a vibrational seal, I manifest by being. That is the pact, and reality will never be the same.